podcast. Just wanted to quickly recap this first half by Ohio State versus Western Michigan. Um, I was looking for three things this game that I was looking for, and so far I got all three of them in the first half. One, I wanted them to get off to a fast start. They definitely got off to a fast start, 35-0. Number two, a dominant run game. One of the biggest, and this is really from everyone. Talking to the fans, I asked, where do we want to see improvement? One of those areas was the offensive line, the run game. I didn't think the offensive line played bad last week, but I did think in terms of the run game, all 11 guys needed to improve, and I think you see that. You see the blocking on the perimeter from the receivers, tight ends getting their blocks, offensive linemen hat on a hat, pushing guys back. Obviously, Western Michigan isn't going to be the toughest opponent in the trenches. But when you play a team like that, you want to be dominant when it comes to being able to run the ball. It seems like the playbook has opened up a little bit too. It feels like install 2 in week 2. In the second preseason game, I call this the preseason. So it seems like they're doing a little bit more. But yeah, the run game looks explosive. The other thing I wanted to see, just a disruptive defense. Glad to see Cody Simon back in the mix. Early sack. Also got his hands on the ball that should have been a pick. Defense looks good. The one thing, and I was visibly upset. I know you guys couldn't see it on Twitter, but outside of me tweeting in all caps, that they kicked Denzel Burke out the game. Man, this is Denzel's. To me, this is his Thorpe Award run. So it's been good to see him get a pick or something. A big play in this game. And it's unfortunate that this targeting call is just it's the punishment is just too heavy. Like, it's just too much. So that that kind of pissed me off early. But yeah. So everything I asked to see, I'm seeing. I tweeted out. One thing I wouldn't say I was concerned about. Just one thing I was looking for. Just going back and watching Will Howard at Kansas State. Just didn't seem like he had a lot of deep passes at Kansas State, and that wasn't a knock on him as much as it was their ability to create separation on the perimeter when it came to the receivers at K-State. So obviously we're going to have those opportunities here at Ohio State. It's a key part of a Ryan Day offense, and he doesn't need to be spectacular. Honestly, I think he's been pretty much spectacular so far through 2 games. He's been about as good as you could be at quarterback. Outside of just a couple misses downfield, and I don't think it's something to be alarmed about. I think, just inconsistent mechanics at times, not stepping into throws, whatever it is. I think it's something he gets corrected, but it's definitely something that I'm keying in on myself, just because it's just something that you didn't see a lot of from Will Howard. We got the co-host on, who's
I'm back.
He's back.
I'm back.
How was your how was the day, man? I know you're out there in Columbia, man. What's to the people?
Man, it's a long boat ride to the island, man. There and back. So to be frank, I'm tired, man. I'm tired. I'm an old man on vacation, man. I ain't got like I used to, man. That's for sure.
Are you watching the game, man? Are you did you see the first half?
I'm keeping up with it, man. I'm kind of on the move a little bit. I'm catching. I see Jeremiah Smith is still that guy. I see Junkins is tearing up things, giving them hell, and I see overall we're getting not that much resistance for Western Michigan this afternoon. That's for sure. Yeah, the game too late. I think they're sleeping. Too late.
Yeah, not much at all, man. The run game has been dominant. The offensive line has come to play, which I think they did last week too. But I think everyone on the offense has come to play fast start guys blocking downfield. You see Carnell Tate pancaking a receiver. So I think that's kind of been what we've been looking for, right? What we've been looking for from the offense.
Yeah, man. I caught a tweet. Like, so I've been moving around, caught a tweet They kicked out our guy, man. They kicked out Denzel Burke. What happened?
They got Denzel out of there over. It's interesting because the whoever they ask, they have the ref that talks about the calls and makes and is kind of commentating on the calls, and he was like, yeah, they're gonna review, but I don't think this is gonna be a targeting. He barely really he doesn't really have any forcible contact with the head or whatever, and then they kick him out the game. They call it targeting, they kick him out the game. It's just a bad call, right?
Yeah.
And there's bad calls in football, but this one, when you get it wrong, the guy is kicked out. And if it happens in the second half, he misses a half of the next game. It's just too much, man.
It's too much. It's too much. I mean, yeah, I think they really. I know they wanted out the game, and I think rightfully so. I think the game needs to be a little bit safer, but like it needs to be some type of severity to it, right? I mean, like you said, if it's a questionable call, it's so questionable that people are looking at instant replay, slowing it down, say, yeah, don't seem like it's worth it. And then someone else got another opinion, say, get them out the game. Like that's drastically different, man. Drastically. Yeah, I don't know. That's
way too much gray area in this talk. It's too subjective for real. I want to get your perspective, man, because we kind of talked about this last year about the defense and defensive line and getting pressure on the quarterback, and you had a perspective that D-line, it just doesn't seem like they're getting the opportunity to really rush on the edge, right?
Yeah.
Last
year. Yeah, right. Yeah. Last year, it seemed to me, and man, not seemed to me. I mean, it was obvious to me. There was some type of point of emphasis where they really wanted the D linemen to beat the offensive linemen physically before going on to trying to make a play on the ball, right? Whether it's the quarterback sack or getting off to get a tackle. And you see that, right? You usually see that in a two-gap type of defense where you play more like a 3-4 type of deal, and you really are asking your D lineman so much not to get pressure, but we really need you to hold your ground, maybe occupy two guys, and the people around you can kind of go around and make the plays. Not typically we see out of Coach Johnson, right? We used to our defensive line making the plays, right? We used to seeing them getting sacked, tackle for loss, and things of that nature. But I think everything revolves around the game, right? It revolves around Michigan. And a couple years ago, we kind of got smoked on the run. And if the best way to protect your defense against the run is essentially occupy guys, occupy the offensive line. And so I think it was a point of emphasis there. Yeah. And they did that. Obviously, it was much better against the run last year. But this season's kind of like we're back, right? Back to letting the guys get on the edge a little bit, let them run around, make plays in the backfield, get sacks. I see Ty Hamilton already got a sack and a half, tackle for loss. So we're back to get on the edge, and I think we kind of sprinkle in what we need to kind of anchor down a little bit more as a defensive front.
Yeah, you see more one-on-ones. You see guys like Jack Sawyer being able to get on that edge and do their pass rushes, their move. You see a couple of spin moves. He was beating guys last week. He's beating guys this week. And it's a lot different than a lot of what we saw last year. And I think we haven't talked a ton about it, but I feel like Nose is still, or he's finally kind of figuring out how to call this defense at Ohio State. Yeah. Because if you think about Nose, and similar to Ryan Day to me, is he's a very smart coach, and he brings a really good scheme. Well, he can out scheme. You know what I'm saying? Like he can out scheme. Right. When you coach at Duke and you coach at Oklahoma State, that out scheme some guys to win some of those big games, right? When you come to Ohio State, there's this thing. It's like there's a conflict, I think, sometimes between scheme and talent, right? Because if you over scheme, sometimes you minimize some of the talent. Where at the end of the day, if I get a one-on-one matchup with this guy versus the other guy's gonna lose, and that's you don't want to do too much scheme, too much movement. I think a lot of times, on that defensive line, we had and rightfully so, to protect against all the RPO and stuff. It's hard to stop defenses now. You got Sawyer dropping in coverage. You got a bunch of other things because you're trying to, create the scheme to stop the offense. Sometimes you won, and get on the edge. And no matter what the offense schemes up, all that stuff blows up when you just got a guy who's just better than the other guy. So I feel like he finally figured out. Obviously just week 2, but he finally kind of figured out how to bring, his scheme with the talent, like the balance that scheme versus talent here at Ohio State. And I think it's starting to show.
I think so, right? And obviously, you can't have more experience as a team, as a defense, right? Does he have this year when it comes to the guys that he's playing with? So, if he's able to let those guys, want to say, let their hair down a little bit to go make plays, go do it. And then also, if it comes next season when the team's obviously they're going to be much younger, we'll kind of see what he wants to do scheme-wise when it comes to his front and together as a unit. But yeah, man, I mean, real quick, I mean, obviously second half, we plan on seeing the young guys play, right? We're kind of running up on them, and rightfully so. We'll discuss that on Believe in Buckeyes, our Monday show. Hey, man, but I want to just talk about a little bit more about, the team up north, man. They didn't have much in the second half. Texas continued to run it away. I mean, I know my phone cut off a little bit early. Obviously, we're in a good spot, I feel. But, man, it's like, is it going to be a long season for the guys up north, man? What you think?
I think it's going to be a long season. I think it's going to be a long season because they got too many things to fix. See, coming into it, I thought they had one major thing to figure out, and it was going to make it, tough early on. But, as the season goes on, you kind of figured out, what we do with the quarterbacks. And then you get on a path where maybe they lose 3 games, maybe they lose 4 games, whatever, but it's a solid season. But what I saw defensively surprised me a little bit. And then also the offensive line. And I'm not going to say the offensive line was bad, but they just weren't up to the standard that I was used to.
Yeah.
And the head coach is he's the offensive line coach. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the question is, what do they hang their hat on? Obviously, it's going to be defense and run game. That's who they are. But, I just feel like it's going to be a long season because the thing that you hang your hat on, just, the hat is missing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hang their hat on something and the hat gets blown away. So they gotta go back to the drawing board and figure it out. And I'm not sure if I say this jokingly about, something on the defense just isn't the same. Mm-hmm. But honestly, like, something on the defense isn't the same. If I take the counter-styling stuff out of it, they got a new defensive coordinator. Obviously, there's some changes there, but whatever is happening, and they lost some players. They lost some players.
Yeah, right.
Minimized. They lost some good players. They also lost a safety for the year that got injured. So they had a guy who would have backed them up that transferred. So I mean, there's things there. There's some, there's some new element. They lost coaches. They lost a lot of coaches.
a lot of coaches.
But when we talked about this in the offseason, on the other side always made it seem like, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal. We still got the guys. Yeah,
it looked like a big deal.
Look like a big deal. Yeah, man. So we'll see how it goes. Things shake out there, man. But I guess real quick, obviously the upset of the day, right? Our guy Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame. They go down to Northern Illinois, man. Definitely, man. That's a tough loss after a huge win week 1 at Texas A&M, man. I don't know if you caught any glimpse of it, but I kind of kept up with it. Looks like with the game, Northern Illinois jumped up. Notre Dame got back in control, but it was just they never got that separation and lost it in the end, right? I mean,
never got that separation. Notre Dame, they lost their offensive coordinator to Bama whenever.
Yeah.
They didn't go get the guy that they wanted. And then 2 years in a row, they go get a quarterback who's a veteran guy, who's had a lot of experience, a guy who you think is going to come in and make that offense go. And this is the second year in a row where that quarterback has not been that good. And I'm trying to figure out, is it Notre Dame or is it the guy? Because I mean, he missed some throws really, really bad. He did not have a good game. They couldn't get anything going on offense. And they should just be better. And I mean, this just goes to show, like, it doesn't matter who you're playing against. You got to go play ball. Like,
you got to go play ball. Right.
So we can't dismiss every MAC school, every whatever school. So you got to make the plays. You got to win one-on-one matchups, and guys got to execute in order to win, and they couldn't do it. And I feel bad for Marcus.
Yeah,
because man, that is a tough loss, and everybody's gonna look at it.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. Right? I mean, obviously, you win like that on the road week 1. They go all the way up to number 5 in the country, right? Like, oh, this is a huge win. Like, this team must be on their way. And then you come back with a huge letdown against Northern Illinois. And obviously, this is going to pit, obviously, with the playoffs, we figure, good teams could get in with 1 loss. Maybe a really good team could get in with 2 losses. But you lose to Northern Illinois at home, and you paid them, $1.6 million to come play you. It's just not a good look all around, man. So it's going to be an uphill battle for Notre Dame to kind of get the season going back in the right direction. Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. The game's about to come on. What do you want to see in the second half? What's the number one thing?
I want to see some young guys play, man. Get those quarterbacks in there. We didn't get to see much of Devin Brown last week. If he is our number 2, get him out there. If Julian Sayers number 3, get him out there. I want to be able to kind of critique them actually live on the field. It's a night game, too. They're under the lights, right? So get them out there. Let those guys play some ball so we can see what we got.
Yeah, and I want to see those young linebackers all get in there, get some action. Man, move one of those guys to defensive end for a play. Let me see him pass.
There you go.
No, but yeah, let's get back to the game. Believe in Buckeye podcast. You can catch us on all the streaming platforms. Also, go on YouTube. Go search Believe in Buckeye. Go subscribe to us. Comment on our videos. Show us some love. We'll be here all season. Yeah, back to the game, man.
Back to the game. All right, go Bucks. Talk to you later. All right.